The first Salesian brothers lived with not many words, but with deeds and extraordinary amounts of sacrifices. This was the kind of life that Brother Peter ENRIA lived, a life so radiant with love and dedication. He certainly deserves the gratitude of all the sons of Don Bosco, both present and future. Brother Peter ENRIA was born at San Benigno, Canavese in 1841. His family moved to Turin in 1854, where he personally met Don Bosco. That was also the year when the cholera epidemic broke out, which left many of the young people and children orphaned. Peter and his brother, who were 13 and 11, were not exempted in this sad fate. They needed to be sent to the convent of St. Dominic for future refuge. Don Bosco was tasked to take care of the orphans' intellectual and moral formation. He felt that fatherliness. He immediately felt that throb in his heart, not with fear, but with affection. After his studies, Peter remained in the oratory. Don Bosco assigned him as a blacksmith and responded well to the many needs of the oratory and was able to learn so many trades. The Salesians and the boys of the oratory used to call him Jack of all trades, or factotum. He was a music teacher. He was a theater manager. He was a production designer, a singer, a cook, a painter, and a member of the original oratory band. He also inscribed scriptural quotations underneath the oratory porticos and along the corridors. And he was well known for organizing country hiking. Later on, he will be called the Great Infirmarian. Life in the oratory was never easy. Peter suffered so many crises. One day, Don Bosco told him, "Dear ENRIA, I am not pleased with you anymore. I hear so many complaints about you." Peter answered back, "I am sick and tired of hearing the same thing. I'm sorry I learned so many trades." Don Bosco answered, "Forget the trades you have learned." On that same year, Don Bosco went out for almost a month. When he came back to the oratory, he was welcomed by everyone. But when Peter was about to kiss Don Bosco's hand, he immediately pulled his hand away and turned to another boy. Peter was terribly hurt. He went to his room and cried the whole day. On a hike, Joseph Buzzetti gave Don Bosco a list of band members. He saw Peter ENRIA's name on the list and crossed it off. Peter remained in the oratory and received a note from Don Bosco. "Dear ENRIA, remember that you should never answer back to your superiors. Don Bosco is always your friend, and I remember you in my Mass every day and pray for you." This was the healing balm that ENRIA needed to soothe his troubled heart. Peter got sick during this time, and when Don Bosco returned, he heard his confession and gave him the blessing of Merry Help of Christians, which gave him a lot of consolation. Like in the case of his friend Joseph Buzzetti, it also took Peter a long time to discern before he professed as a Salesian. It was just after almost 37 years of being with Don Bosco that in 1878, during the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, Peter ENRIA made his vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience as a Salesian brother. Peter ENRIA became the official caregiver of Don Bosco because whenever Don Bosco would get sick, the superiors would always tap the care and dedication of Brother Peter ENRIA. In December 1871, ENRIA got an opportunity to show his commitment when Don Bosco got sick in Varatse. Even though ENRIA was very busy, Father Rua telegraphed him to take full care of Don Bosco. ENRIA recounted, "I immediately left for Varatse, and I thank God for this privileged assignment. I actually prayed that I might have the opportunity to assist Don Bosco during his illness. I was even ready to offer my life for his recovery." Every time Don Bosco would recover, ENRIA would be filled with happiness. One time, he was seen by his friend Joseph Butsetti crying in the chapel, filled with great joy. Don Bosco again got sick for several more times. In all of these occasions, Brother Peter ENRIA was the one taking care of him, wherever he may be. During Don Bosco's final sickness, Brother Peter ENRIA assisted him during his long nights of pain. No one could be more attentive to Don Bosco than the care and love of Brother Peter ENRIA. Every move or every sign, Brother Peter was able to interpret. Some days before Don Bosco died, he told Peter, "Poor Peter, be patient with me. You'll have to spend several nights with me." Peter, in his mind, even wanted to offer his life for Don Bosco's recovery. On January 30, 1888, Don Bosco tuned through and whispered to him. He said, "Hey, well, goodbye." This was a saintly father's farewell to a devoted son. Peter laid his head on Don Bosco's arm, resting on the edge of the bed, and broke down in tears. From that time on, he seemed lost and disoriented. He lost his cheerfulness and was no longer willing to jump from one assignment to another. And that veil of sadness fell over his face. He lived for another 10 years and died on the feast of St. Aloysius Gonzaga in June 21, 1899 at the age of 57. Thank you for tuning with us. I'm Brother Jomar Castillo from the East Asia Oceania Salesian Brothers Formation House here in the Philippine North Province. Let us remember to serve the Lord with holy joy. Thank you very much.